Oh, where?
Lebron.
Yep.
And which day?
True.
We've got to remember why we're standing here. We're in Parliament House, and in Parliament we represent the Australian people. And with the Optus outage, poor people sadly died during that time. And that's why, on behalf of the coalition, the Shadow Minister of Regional Communication, myself, have been pushing so hard to get answers. And I have an email here now that's just come out of Senate estimates saying, "Good afternoon, team. I've just been informed that the Optus has received reports that some customers in South Australia, Western Australia, are experiencing impacts to 000 calls. This was sent Thursday, the 18th of September, 2:45 p.m. Who's on this email list? The Minister's Office. The Minister's Office received notification on the Thursday. The Minister stood up in Parliament yesterday and told the Australian people she did not find out, her office did not find out until Friday. The Minister has misled the Parliament. She has misled the Australian public, and it is clear and plain to see in this email as revealed by Senate estimates.
Indeed.
We have been working today pretty hard since we've been receiving information bit by bit, Anne and myself, but it was only 24 hours notice to receive the legislation that the government had the opportunity to put forward for a year and a half. So we worked with our colleagues. We got some amendments. I think they were really important amendments to improve the bill in the interests of Australians. These were to increase the fines from 10 million to 20 million, because the Minister stood in question time yesterday and she said, this isn't the government's fault, it is Optus's fault. So we enabled the government to increase the fine, to have a big stick and take it to Optus, to take it to any telecommunication service that let Australians down. And they voted that down. They let Australians down when they said no to increasing the fine from 10 million, doubling it to 20 million. We think that the 000 service is critical infrastructure. Australians have critical infrastructure in water, in sewage, in energy, and they're the things that people need for their daily lives. They also need to be able to call 000 in their greatest time of need. The government voted this very serious amendment down. I've been calling for weeks for a public register of every single 000 outage so the public can see what's going on, so there is transparency. I don't think that's too much to ask. The government just voted that down. And I think that there should be reporting not every 6 months after a 000 outage where people die, and every 3 months, and for that to be made public. And once again, the government voted that down. Mm-hmm. There's one more piece to this puzzle, and today I asked the Parliament to put a committee together, a standing committee, the government, the opposition and crossbenchers, to have a further investigation into this outage and the whole 000 network. And we want Australians to be able to have their say, to come to Parliament, tell their stories right across the regions, the cities, and what's been going on. That's fair. I don't think that's political, and the government voted that down. So between the email that the Minister's Office received on the Thursday of the outage, and she said she didn't know until the Friday, to our amendments, our sensible amendments that we worked really hard on for 24 hours, is all we got, to not having a committee to oversee, to have a look into what occurred. It is a dismay. Australians have every right to be very upset with this government. Their top job is to protect their citizens, and they're just not doing it. And I'll ask Anne to say a few words who also absolutely.
Thank you, Melissa. Regional Australians know what it is to be treated as second-class citizens. And I've got to say they are fed up with it. This government, by not accepting the amendments that I brought today, that focuses on regional, rural and remote Australians, is another slap in the face for regional Australians. It shows once again that Labor is focused on city votes, not on people, the people of Australia, and particularly those out in the regions. It is simply not good enough. The minister got up when I presented my amendments today and she said my amendments were unnecessary. And she'd said to the shadow minister that the amendments didn't give her enough time to look at the detail of the amendments. The amendments were not complicated. Let's make that very, very clear. She gave us legislation with less than 24 hours for us to review and approve. Just tick and flick, which is how they operate. We don't operate that way. We put our heads down, we reviewed the legislation, and we came to a decision that amendments needed to be made. We made those amendments in good faith, and I know that the Shadow Minister had good faith discussions with the Minister's office. They decided they didn't have enough time, not enough staff apparently, with the entire department at their back, to review those amendments and agree to them. They are letting Australians down from the top of Australia to the bottom of Australia, from the east to the west. This is absolutely un-Australian, and it's a really sad day for those of us who live out in the regions in particular.
And can I ask two questions? First of all, the email that you just held up, is that the same email that was sent to the wrong address by Optus, or is this a separate email?
This is what's been disputed in the set right now. Who received an email? It's a disgrace. You've got the department being advised, you've got ACMA, the regulator, being advised, and you've got the minister's office being advised, yet nobody could open an email and action it.
But if Optus sent that email to the wrong address,
that is part of it. His wrong address is not the minister's address. The wrong address, as we were in the chamber, was for the department. So there are two other places. You've got ACMA's regulator for sending an email, the department, and the minister's very own office. They didn't get 3 email addresses gone. So what went on? Why couldn't anyone open this email and act on it? This is a 000 outage. The minister, I believe, maybe you could ask her and she can face the public, misled the parliament yesterday when she said her office did not find out until Friday.
And just secondly, the team review looked at a number of issues across the 000 ecosystem. What are you hoping to achieve out of this review that you were pushing for, this inquiry you were pushing for, that wasn't already canvassed in?
But the Bean review was different. We wanted to enable Australians to have their say on what's going on. We wanted the scrutiny of the parliament to go above and beyond what the review had done, and it to be particularly focused on this outage. And the whole, for me, I feel that Australians are losing confidence in our, most important 000 network. When you need someone the most. And this is to also provide that confidence again that we're all in this place who are meant to be representing our communities, taking this issue really seriously. They're getting let down, and it seems like failure after failure. You've got to remember the minister appointed ACMA, the regulator who couldn't open an email, to be an investigator into the whole 000 ecosystem. I said it once, I said it many times. How can the regulator investigate themselves when they are part, and this shows it again, part of the failed process?
Yeah. Didn't Optus in that email also downplay the situation, though? They didn't reveal the scope of the 000 outage?
I'll let you have it. Well, I've just come out of the chamber, but it says there is a 000 outage, and then there's been multiple emails since. If there's a 000 outage, isn't that enough for somebody to at least fall on him or open an email or make a phone call? Like, how serious did they have to say, sorry, 4 people had died, and then...
But didn't Optus not say that? They downplayed it as well.
I'm not letting Optus off the hook here either. It's been Optus's fault. The CEO has been missing in action until he got called in by the minister yesterday and had a closed-door meeting. Optus has also, people have lost confidence in the CEO and in Optus too. It's on them to get that confidence back.
If the government, its departments are all involved in this, is this getting to a point where there needs to be a broader independent commission? Or
it's exactly what I've been following for. Why haven't they done that from the start? An independent, thorough investigation into Optus and now into what's going on, the whole process and the whole 000 network. I think that's essential. We're about to hit bushfire season over summer. There's no guarantee that this isn't going to happen again, and it should not take more deaths for the government to wake up and actually prioritise this.
On that incorrect email, some representatives from the department said that Optus had actually sent to the new email, to the correct email, multiple warnings of previous outages, but then this time they sent it to an incorrect one. I mean, what repercussions would you like to see to Optus to that? That's yet another pain.
Yeah, it's a failure in getting an email address wrong, but there are, as I said, there are other emails in the chain. The Minister's office is also receiving the emails, and ACMA was also, the regulator was receiving the emails. They not speak with each other? This is all under the purview of the Minister. So how could everyone fail in this regard? What are they all doing? I really don't know. That's a good question. What were they doing during this outage that they couldn't respond to an email, pick up a phone and say that we have a serious issue here, potentially impacting lives? This is our 000 network.
You've been trying to meet with the Optus chief executive. I understand he's offered himself up to speak with you or meet with you today. Will you be taking that up?
Has he up been in the chamber? That's good news, but why did it take this? He was here yesterday having coffee and not meeting me. He met with the Minister and he met with the Greens, but he didn't meet with me, and it's taken a story in the media to say, okay, I'll meet with the Shadow Minister for Communications. Well, I've got work to do. It's obvious this is a bigger issue than any of us thought a couple of weeks ago, with many more players, including the Minister, including ACMA, including the department, and of course Optus. So I'll get around to meeting it. But he should have met before, I think.
Thank you.
That was good. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.